Paul Tassi, he writes, can we stop asking Phil Spencer the same Xbox questions? Senior contributor Forbes for the gaming and video game side of things is apparently tired of getting basically the exact same thing. Look at me rolling my eyes. The man's been saying the same thing for the last few years, and goodness gracious, it seems like Twitter would not hear. But hey, Paul, what else do you expect people to do when all this while Xbox has laid out their plan and strategy as clear as possible, and people like you wrote how Xbox's, roadmap and business strategy looked like it was just scattered and it wasn't even organized and whatnot. But now that PlayStation has basically nothing and is showing you third-party games in your roadmap, we now want to play. Let's not ask the same questions over and over again. In fact, let me show you where this is very funny. When I started reading the article, I saw this. You said, not that I've been innocent of this myself. Well, but at this point, I think we've exhausted Phil Spencer across a dozen interviews, asking him same questions over and over again. When at this point, it seems that that his and Xbox's future plans are pretty clear, whether you like them or not. They were already clear like years ago, though. I mean, can anybody help me with this? Like, did anybody witness how clear these plans were? They were so clear. I mean, you could literally see through the darn plan. Like, I feel like all they needed to do was mail us a newsletter that they called Clarity or some stupid name like that. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's now finally come full circle that the strategy is going to be here to stay. It had already been tested and proven. I mean, I don't have to tell these gaming journalists anything. Why? Because, again, people have graced you with their attention. I feel like you need to respect it. Go back to the things that you've reported before, because I'm almost certain that if I Google your name, right, and I Google, say, Quantum Break, I may find something. Did y'all see that? So Paul Tassi wrote a review on Quantum Break at the time. Paul, I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just, you just having to write the article. Okay. Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying, you're just right here. You know what? I'm just saying. So you wrote an article back then. Quantum Break's brilliant ending proves it actually understands time travel logic. You wrote about it 8 years ago. I wonder what was happening 8 years ago around the time. You said this, I'm currently trying to figure out how to simultaneously play the new content for The Division. I was playing The Division back then. Shout out. Destiny, I don't know how you did that. Fallout 4 tomorrow. Yet despite all the brand new stuff on Horizon, I can't seem to get Quantum Break out of my head. Ladies and gentlemen, though, as Quantum Break was actually going down, Xbox's strategy was also being, in a sense, birthed. The third-party strategy. Even before then, maybe Paul did not want to engage in the so-called console wars. Okay, I can understand. But before that game launched, the crap gamer was yelling at Phil Spencer saying, you didn't tell us that this game was going to go to PC. And Phil Spencer was shocked, saying, why would anybody be bothered that, a game that somebody's going to play on PC, they're going to, is going to make them cancel their pre-order. So, Paul, I'm certain that even at the time all that was going, on, you could have gone back and looked and said, oh, so this is what Xbox was doing all that while. And you could have figured it out and not had to be among the people asking them a barrage of the same questions. And man, if any of these other publications or journalists have been around for that long, I can easily say that y'all could have done the same thing. The latest round of news comes from a new interview on the Xbox Era podcast where Phil Spencer explains that yes, they'll be showing PlayStation and Nintendo logos during their showcases of first-party games releasing on these platforms, not attempting to hide the fact that they're going multi-platform. Homie, they have been multi-platform for 8 years. How do I know? You reported on a game that they took multi-plat 8 years ago. Despite the fact I'm a little hyper, I think I took some coffee, so it's not, just despite the fact that there are a wide range of opinions on Xbox strategy from here, it's more than clear what it is now, for better or worse. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. I'm going to go with this. Let me go with the flow. Number one, Xbox will potentially release any first-party game on Nintendo and Sony hardware. That means putting logos on trailers sometimes. Come, guys, are the logos offensive to y'all? Is that what's going on here? Day one, time delay, unannounced, or perhaps never. Okay. The Xbox goal is to appeal to gamers who want to subscribe to Xbox Game Pass to get those games, in quote, free on day one using that service and play across a range of devices. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that in this Xbox era interview, those gentlemen said there's a radio host in Great Britain, and they talked about this radio host who said, man, I'm a PlayStation guy, but I want to play Indiana Jones. Do you know what he did? He got on his TV and played the whole game and streamed it on cloud. The entire game. So again, is the appeal working? For some it is. There are people playing these games from their Teslas. Xbox does not care if people use the service to play via cloud or phones or tablets, whatever. As such, Xbox cares far less about selling hardware than they used to. That's not what any Xbox executive has said. That's the interpretation that y'all are bringing into it. I'm sorry to say, but Xbox is not concerned where you decide or choose to play their games. Meaning, if you do not have means or have means but choose to play an Xbox game, you can play however you want. They're not going to stand in front of GameStop or Walmart or Best Buy and say, hey, you better not touch that Xbox console, fool. They're not actively doing that. They're just saying, we're bringing the games to you wherever you are. Right? So to say Xbox cares far less, that's not true. And I've basically proven that in a series of videos where I showed you guys, ladies and gentlemen, that the very best Xbox experience is the one that you can get on the Xbox console. I showed you guys this, right? I showed you all the Xbox store. I showed you all the PC store. Right? I showed you that on the Xbox store, you have access to a lot of different perks. In fact, you gain some benefits on just on the fact that Xbox Game Pass has gone to PC. I'll make a separate video for that. I don't know if I should make that video about the cost of Game Pass and how you can basically get the best benefit for Ultimate at less than the cost of what you're paying for even, Game Pass itself on console using keys from external sites. That's just one. Then some of you in here, you're telling me about the perks. I haven't even seen those things in a full blast. And apparently that's a thing. Right? So this is very interesting that Paul is writing this stuff at this moment in time. So I just wanted to go ahead and just put that down. Even if they still have plans to make it. Well, why would they not care about selling it? They're going to make it. Anyways, the contradiction here is kind of thick, but it is what it is. And if rumors are true, they could be releasing a portable Xbox that could change the dynamic a bit. So essentially, Xbox is acting as a third-party developer that also makes hardware that has somewhat confusing multi-platform release schedule plus its own subscription service. Yes, you can opine that that isn't a good strategy, but at least we know what it is. Okay, good. I don't particularly see the point of asking Spencer about trailer brand logos or quizzing him or their executives if XYZ game is coming to PlayStation and when. Okay. I guess everybody's on the same page now. But again, like I said, though, when you were guilty of doing it, you had the option, the information, you had the history, the data, and everything to go ahead and understand exactly what they were saying last year, months ago, and so on and so forth. You could have easily tracked to see that this strategy worked out for them 8 years ago, and hence, them pursuing it in this new generation made sense. But I digress. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.